Welcome to Da Nang, Vietnam, where monkeying around is a way of life. We're gonna try to cut through some of the hype, both the good and the bad, because I think I've gotten to the bottom of why some people don't like this place. I think they're just staying and hanging out on the wrong side of the city. So follow me around. I'm gonna show you some places, some things, and I think you're gonna like where we go with this. So. Legendary Da Nang, Vietnam. Da Nang is not a small beach town. It's a big city. It's relatively walkable and easy to get around. You have to cross the highway to get to the beach space, which is walkable up and down the beach until your body can't take any more of it. We're at the edge of town on the north side, at the tip of the peninsula, sort of. I spent a week staying in the city center. Then I moved over to the beach within a block of the beach on the peninsula side and stayed there for a week. Went down to Hoi An for a week. And then I've come back and I've been here for days. I don't even know what I've been doing. I've just been wandering around eating noodles and drinking coffee. But I totally understand how attractive this could be for digital nomads of any age because of the affordability. And of course there's Wi-Fi everywhere. Like, it's a beautiful beach, right? Because the river goes up north, and any pollution that's coming through the river, dirt and the water, sediment, has to wrap all the way around the peninsula and come back. So the water on the beach is much cleaner than what you're used to seeing in a normal river estuary to beach environment. You have two major elements. You have the city center side on the west side of the river, and on the east side of the river is the peninsula. We're up at the top of the peninsula at the pagoda with the Lady Buddha watching over Da Nang. There are numerous bridges crossing the river, but the three major landmark bridges are, starting from north to south, we have the Spinning Drawbridge, we have the Dragon Bridge, and we have the Sail Bridge. On the peninsula side, on the beach side, I have a feeling that the people who are dissatisfied with their stay here and decided to move on pretty quickly because it wasn't their vibe, I have a feeling they were staying either in Mỹ Khê or Phuc My Beach, kind of on the northern half of the beach side of the peninsula. So at Mỹ Khê Beach, you have all these hotels with no gaps in between them, and then you have all these restaurants right on the beach. And then boom, from Mỹ Khê, the highway comes back to touch the beach all the way till it sweeps back inland again. That whole area is like this international village. There's food from all over the world in that area, and throughout, blocks and blocks of very affordable options for hotels, villas, hostels, homestays. It's not too dense in any area. And maybe that's the attractiveness of it. It has this like busy but yet super laid back feel to it. And you're gonna see people from all over the place just hanging out in the coffee shops, hanging out at street side. There's laptops open, people are doing work, drinking coffee. It's a really unique place. I don't know that I've seen anything quite like this yet in Southeast Asia. It's a great spot if you need to catch your breath in an affordable place for a while and eat great food. It's a great place if you need to spend some time doing digital work wherever that connects to in the rest of the world and have it be an affordable experience. Oh, and by the way, be next to this beautiful beach. As you head south towards Hoi An, the highway sweeps inland a little bit, and from there all the way down to Hoi An is just over and over again these isolated either resort or condo areas, abandoned projects or incomplete projects. And yeah, you can take roads in to get beach access. It's not completely cut off from the public, but it does have a rather cut off from the rest of the world feel to it. And also on the city center side, right up against the riverside where all the bridges, you can watch the show tons of walkable space on both sides of the river. So those are my two favorite spots to be spending time. So it's a beautiful Friday. I have been here for a week, just hanging out on the city center side of Da Nang, exploring, going back from the river. So I decided it's time to go actually see the beach, since this is considered one of the best beaches in the world. Let's go see what things look like on the peninsula side, way back that way. Yesterday, the weather finally got better. I had these lofty ambitions of getting to some of the iconic sites, and I just didn't feel like doing it. I was just like, another day, some other time. So I spent the whole day still, again, I'd already been back there for 6 days, just wandering between coffee shops, taking new alleyways and new streets, stopping into new restaurants, and everywhere I went, all these great conversations would start. People, the employees were just talking to me. Other travelers from all over the world were talking to me. It was so much fun, and it just reinforced the value of slow traveling. And you can't beat yourself up too much about taking down days. All of my best experiences have been not at the iconic sites themselves, but in the space that fills in between those things. We're saying goodbye for now to the city center area. Major hotel row up here. There's a riverside promenade on both sides of the river, and it is a ton of walking space. It extends up and down for as long as you can handle. You have safe passage underneath all of the 3 main bridges on both sides of the bridge. You have safe pedestrian passage across the bridges on both sides of the bridge. And this whole promenade beside the river lights up at sunset. That it's a really nice place. There's tons of people out here walking around on both sides of the river, as long as you get safely across the main road. I've kind of been beating myself up about staying on timelines and following the to-do list, checking things off. Even 6 months into it, it is still a daily struggle with yourself about going to see the sites. Yes, it's important to do that. They are really fantastic everywhere you go, but they can also be disappointing if your expectations are based on what you've seen on social media. Balancing that urge to treat it like a to-do list with just letting the experience unfold however it may, which means listening to your body also. And it's just a daily struggle for me when I get tired, letting myself take that downtime. Okay, we're finally here at Da Nang Beach. Let's go take a look at our new hotel. I'm pretty excited about this. It's pretty nice, and we got it at a good price too. But I've been getting everything at a good price, and that's one of the benefits of traveling during the low season, during the wet season. But what a nice place. Look at all this space. I'm like a half a block from Da Nang Beach. So this has been pretty standard so far in Nha Trang and Da Nang. Let's see, king bed. Oh, nice and splashy soft, just the way I like it. So now that we're here on the beach side, let's go take a look around and see. So I almost didn't even want to record this video because I felt like I didn't have anything wildly detailed to say about this place. Except that like it speaks for itself that the total time I've spent in Da Nang is brushing up against 3 weeks at this point, if that tells you anything. And the weather hasn't even been that good. Now some of that is that the price of being here is so affordable. The only thing that makes you feel guilty about staying is that there's other adventures you're supposed to be doing if you have a to-do list that you're not doing. But I don't feel bad about that. I'm kind of skipping those because when the weather goes bad up in the mountains where some of that stuff is, you don't want to be there right now. It's terrible weather up there. It's the 1st of December today. The temperature's very comfortable. You can tell by the way everybody's dressed. Even with the cloud cover, it's kind of nice because the sun isn't just blazing down on you. So there are similarities to these cities, Nha Trang and Da Nang, but there's also, what's the biggest difference? You know, there's this pulsing tourist life happening in Nha Trang, and you can tell they've got these cruise ships where they unload everybody, and you know, in the resort road there's just so much activity, so much tourist activity. There's nothing like that going on here, but there's tons of, it's a touristy and a big beach city. So you definitely feel a strong tourist presence in the city center, but it's not overwhelming. And then when you're in sort of the southern section of Da Nang proper on the beach side, the peninsula side, you see an international community everywhere you go, but it's not overwhelming either. So it's like, it's this big beach city, and yet it's super laid back at the same time. It's so hard to explain. It just sort of feels so welcoming. It's so easy to get sucked in. The Dragon Bridge puts on a show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night at 9 o'clock at night. The lit up rotating drawbridge, if you're here on a Saturday or Sunday night at 11 o'clock at night, you can watch, it's all lit up and it rotates. They're just doing their maintenance checks. And that's a really cool thing to see. And it's beautiful at night. The whole riverside's lit up, that you can walk up and down underneath the bridges, across the bridges, and on the city center center side, it was almost like the city center in Nha Trang, except this one actually felt like it had a greater density of interesting things happening in the name of cafes, coffee shops, restaurants. So the good news is, up here in Da Nang, they have a Vinh Mek International Hospital also, so if you're staying down in Hoi An, you can just travel up north a half an hour. Okay, so we're at the peak of the Marble Mountain at the Heaven Gate. There's no gate, and heaven, questionable. But I want to point something out. So down below me, if you can see this, there's like this giant compound that looks somewhere between a private resort or a condo development. And it's really isolated, you know, it's separated by the highway and kind of isolated from the rest of the world. Ooh, slippery. So up here on the Marble Mountain, I would not want to be up here on a rainy day when it's slippery. I mean, it's marble after all. But if it's a clear, dry day, like today, not to be missed. Same thing with the giant Mama Buddha on the north side of town. Free to get in, beautiful on a clear day, but when the weather is kicking, it's not pleasant up there. So then you have, next to the compound, there's this undeveloped spot, but totally fenced off. And then there's another giant compound, but totally fenced off, and then undeveloped, then abandoned. And that just goes all the way from Da Nang to Hoi An. It's just over and over again, these isolated compounds, but most of them look either abandoned or unfinished. So when people are even talking about those as places to, I just don't see the draw. You're so cut off from the rest of the Vietnamese world. Like, what's the fun in that? So not for me. If it's your jam, great. I won't hold that against you, but I can't in good conscience recommend that you're reserving that ahead of time. I don't think you're gonna love your experience. All right, so we're at the Marble Mountain, a little bit south of Da Nang. To get here was about a 15-minute back of the bike grab ride that cost me 40,000 dong. So that's somewhere around $1.50, US $1.50. Entry, and you have two different gates of entry, cost another 40,000 dong. Yesterday, we were at the pagoda on the north side of town. That cost about 50,000 dong, or $2 US, to travel on the back of a grab bike. Da Nang, just like every other place I've been, it takes 2 or 3 days for you to find your bearings. That was definitely the case for me here. It seemed so big and spread out and overwhelming because it is a big city. And then once you start walking, you just start moving those feet, then it becomes a little more easy to wrap your brain around, easy to navigate the whole thing and figure out how this place works. So just how affordable is Da Nang? I would say it's maybe more affordable than Nha Trang. Here in Da Nang, I say it might be more affordable because the hotels, I've stayed in 3 different hotels that are all like clean, nice, comfortable, good security. And I'm averaging about $12 US a night. It's like sticking your head in a blender, the affordability. And it seems insane, but yet like we're in low season and there's a lot of empty rooms out there. There's a lot of abandoned and unfinished projects around the city. In my 2 favorite neighborhoods, City Center and the International Village, part of the beach city, you go into any of the coffee shops that are closed in spaces, like a Highlands Coffee, for example, and there's all kinds of people from all over the world with their laptops open, just doing their work. There's something about this place that's magnetic for a lot of people around the world. And there has been so much to keep me busy here in Da Nang, searching around. And I haven't even gone up to Ba Na Hills, A, because of the weather in the mountains, but B, right, that's the bridge, the big bridge with the hands holding it up. But it's a theme park, so it's important to understand that before you buy a ticket that takes you out there for the whole day. So it's an expensive ride, expensive entry. And it sounds like there's just so many people that you're not gonna get the picture you think you're gonna get out there. So. I mean, we are, after all, at the Marble Mountain. So everywhere outside of the monument itself are all these, I mean, and these are not even the biggest. Out on the main highway, they're like the size of a small house, but these are enormous. I'm sitting right outside of the Marble Mountain right now, and I just had some egg fried rice with the local intel, the intelligence network. I mean, they're watching everything that happens around, and they see you coming. They see me coming from a mile away. There is no way you're gonna sneak around and do anything around here. And we just sat here talking, and I had to ask more because we have all these sculptures that are happening here. $5,000 US. I'm told if you get something carved out of marble, it's half the price. These are insane. Also onyx, I'm told $4,000 US, but if it was made of marble, if you get the marble ones, it's half that price, $2,000. These are marble. These are marble, right out of Marble Mountain. The pair of them, her first price, she says to me, is $3,000 with an estimate to ship of $1,000. That's for the pair, $4,000 to get it in right inside your front door. This is out of this world. There are so many things in this shop. $250 for a ton?
Yes.
So how much?
1,500 for shipping.
So 7,000 start to finish to get that in your backyard. Oh man, I hope I win the lottery.
Yeah.
But how much for jade?
This one's 100 US. It's totally awesome. Yeah.
She found out that I'm from America and she's just everything's been totally awesome since then. How much?
$2 million.
Oh, but I don't have any money today. So right now I'm just shopping
Yes.
and enlightening the world as to what is here. Okay, so I just walked away from those shops, and as I walked away, I was told when I come back that I get a 50% discount. So I'm gonna hold you to that if you're watching this video. So I'm just down the street, and I really wanted to come in here because more than the size, more than displaying and showcasing the size of some of the stuff that's down the highway, because it would be so cost burdensome to try to get to the United States. What I really want to showcase is just down the street, it's labeled a museum, but the detail and the variety of the stuff that's being made here. Now, most of these statues, apparently it's all coming out of the Marble Mountains. But you can have anything. Are you seeing this? I mean, so whatever, spiritual or religious spin you wanted to do for your yard, your fountain pieces, gotta come to Da Nang, man. I've ridden by these places a few times, going back and forth from Da Nang to Hoi An. I wanted so bad to jump out of the van that I was traveling in. Can I go upstairs? Yeah. Oh, let's go take a look. And the lighting in here is not highlighting and accentuating these pieces the way it could and probably should. And I will bet you these cost a fortune. I want you to see this. Oh my God. Oh, this is crazy. Look at this stuff. Why am I whispering? I don't even know. Because I'm in the company of greatness, I would say. It's like a pink fish sculpture. Do love like the angels. You could even have like your own throne, king and queen throne done. Where does it even end? That would be a cool place to sit and drink some coffee. Well, I've had a really good time exploring Da Nang. You know, Vietnam it's just a really cool place. And if you're an American, I really think you should be open to coming to see this and experience it. It's just such a different thing than the United States. I hope you've enjoyed getting familiar, doing a little bit of exploring, but I am starting to feel the itch, the hunger to hit the road again. So until then, thanks for following me around, sharing these adventures with me, and I will see you in the next town.